Hey guys, what's going on? Gather round. We have to have a little chat. So, today was crazy. Well, it wasn't that crazy. I took big size today. And because of that, I had a big win. But I was down like more than double my daily loss in a pullback. So that's why I'm not happy about today. And it feels weird to say that, I don't feel good about such a massive win. But there's a reason. And there's a reason that yesterday's chart, let me just pull up the chart by itself. There's a reason yesterday's chart on Dare, on a smaller win, made me feel really good because I nailed the entries, I nailed the exits, and then the trade management was great. Whereas today, the trade management on VXRT, it was not good. I was buying towards, why did I unmark that level? What is that? 399. So 399 is a very, very key level here from the daily. And I thought that this was like a wedge or like whatever. I guess this is a wedge. I thought that we were going to break out of there. I guess it's more of a flag at that point. And then continue to the upside when in reality, we were in a kind of a wider wedge that went down to VWAP. So I saw that and I added to 3,000 shares from 2,000, still very much believing in this trade. Now, yeah, it worked out and I made a crap load on it, but this is where you start to get into trouble, because if I had stopped out, I had my stop under 355. I think it was 354, like a mental stop. Just somewhere in the 350, just the low 350s. I knew that if that had hit and we'd gone under VWAP and didn't get bought up immediately, that the trade would be invalid. I would have had to stop out for like $500 or $600. Now, my daily max loss is $200. So there was just so many mistakes, and I was talking about this yesterday or the day before on SLNO. Do you guys remember when I was do I have a better picture of this somewhere? I don't think I do. I'll just zoom in. On SLNO, I think you guys remember, I was buying on support, selling at resistance, buying on support, selling. This was like the epitome of my trading was right here. And the gain wasn't that much compared to today, compared to yesterday, but this chart is how I should trade. This chart made me feel really good. Today, no. I didn't respect my rules. I made a lot of mistakes. There was no real trading errors in here or in yesterday's trading, but there was a lot of errors today. Now, let's go over them. So, the first error, I was just doing a quick scalp on this trade. I won't talk too much about that trade because I want to go over what matters, and that's going to take probably 5 or 10 minutes anyways. So, first mistake was buying at resistance. I thought it would be support as we broke out. So if we look at my trades here, I'll go over the ALT trade as well. But VXRT, where was I buying in here? Bought, so $4, $3.91, $3.96. My first buy was good, but then I thought we were going to stay, like we were going to surge back over, so I was adding in the 90s for like whatever it was, up to 2,000 shares. Now, we dipped, and I averaged down. There's two mistakes right there. Now, it wasn't an average down out of like, it keeps dropping, and I'm getting frustrated, and like it wasn't one of those average downs, but I don't think there's really a good time to average down. If there was, it would have been this. But like I said, I just completely threw my risk management out the window. And if I had stopped out, I would, like, if this trade had just gone wrong, I would have wiped out yesterday's gains. And it could have just gotten messy from there. Like, if I hadn't have stopped at that point and I had kept trading, you know, I like to think that I would have stopped then, because that would have just been crazy. But there's just so many errors. So many errors. I saw VWAP, you know, I was waiting for the dip into VWAP, and I thought that this wedge, I didn't draw this wedge at the time, but I knew that, you know, this was just a part of a flag or a wedge, and we had some room and some leg to break out. The volume was decreased quite a bit. All we needed it to do was pick up. Like, this is a very valid pattern. I think a lot of people would agree, but what if it had not worked out? Like the other day when, where is it here? Yeah, this trade on Dare. You see it came down. It was kind of flagging. It came down to VWAP, and then it just kept failing and failing and failing, and now we're down $1. What if that had happened? Now, I know that this is completely different, so this is not the same pattern. Like this is not really a bull flag, much like this. This is clearly a bull flag, whereas this is not. So maybe you can't compare the two, but nonetheless, I had 3,000 shares. Let's go to the video. 3,000. Let me just figure out where I am here. So this is me adding around, you know, whatever this is. I'm adding blah blah blah. It comes down. Sorry, let me back up a bit. Let me just pause it here. So I think I was only down $50 on the name at that point because of this trade here, or I was up. I can't really remember, but or yeah, $58 I was down before this trade. So I'm averaging down into this, and look at my unrealized. Like, my unrealized is double my daily loss. If I had to stop out under this level here, realized, again, that probably would have been 500, 600. So I need to size down. I need to not take 3,000 shares. If I had just held on to the 2,000, I think my risk would have been a little bit better, but I did get those shares at a really, really good price. So if I had just stopped out under where I got them, it's almost like a risk-free ad, if that makes sense. So I was just seeing how it reacts around this 399 level, because I know that that is the big resistance on the daily. So here it is. It comes up, it gets slammed back down. I'm starting to get a little nervous, but like, I don't want to make another trading error, which is selling early, because this is still the trade that I'm trying to be in. And I'm either going to stop out if the trade is proven wrong, or the trade is going to work out. I'm not just going to stop out for no reason. So it comes up, blah, blah, blah. It starts to come up, and see, I start to sell in the 420s rather than the 430s that maybe I would have held on for if I had smaller size, because I was getting scared. Here, let's back that up so you can see all of that. So 4.7, as we burst through 4.10 here, see, I'm not, even with this realized, you know, I'm not selling. So I'm happy about that at least. I had the discipline to hold on for the trade now that I'm in the trade. So we're in the 20s here. I'm just putting out orders like crazy. I'm just like, let's go. Get me filled. Get me out of this trade. I'm getting nervous. Now I'm starting, obviously, to get way less nervous because I'm not in for such big size. And it keeps going. It blasts through 450. Maybe if I had less size, I would have just held for this, right? Like the high was 440, and I was selling in the 420s. So max loss was around, what did I say, 600 bucks, 500 bucks. So this gain is well in line with that, like a 2-to-1 ratio. But just the fact that the numbers are so big, I'm not following my risk. Because let's say I take the L, you know, 600 down, and then I go back down to 1,000 shares or 2,000 shares. Let's say 1,000 shares tomorrow and the rest of the week. I would have only been making maybe 200, 300 on a good trade, whereas a loser would have been maybe 100. Whereas now the loser was 600. So it's just you screw everything up when you do stuff like this. So I need to not do that again. ALT was just a stupid little trade here. I tried to buy. I think I only had 500 shares. Okay, 1,000 shares. I tried to buy the breakout of 4, but then it failed, and I tried to buy 500 again on a dip, and then I bought some more, and then I sold. I shouldn't have been trading a stock under its resistance, under VWAP, but I only lost $50, so that's fine. The biggest thing today was VXRT. So I've probably been rambling for 10-15 minutes now, but I think this is really, 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 really important that people see this and they kind of come to their own conclusions from this, and they see the dangers of what can happen. Because, yeah, most people would see this. Well, my actual gain on the day is $51 less than this, and be ecstatic. And I'm sure I will be, you know, a little bit later today, but this, at the back of my mind, I can't get this out of my head, that this is what will cause me to blow up one day, or this is showing that I'm devolving, degressing with my trading rather than progressing or evolving. Again, still an okay trade. The pattern was there. The trade management was there with decreasing volume and then selling it into strength towards the top. So that was all good, but like I said, if I stopped out, it just would have been too much. So please let me know what you think. Put some comments down there. What would you have done? What do you think I should do? Tell me you're going to slap me in the wrist, or you're going to unsub from me if I take 3,000 shares again, or if I don't obey my risk again. But I kind of got lucky. You know, my win rate is like 74%. So if it had been that 16 or 26% that I'm wrong, I would have taken the L. So I don't know what else to say. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Peace.